Ibrahim Gambari will definitely implement Buhari's Islamization and Fulanization agenda, Fani Kayode alleges. Fani Kayode, a former aviation minister, on Wednesday reacted to the appointment of Ibrahim Gambari as President Buhari's new chief of staff. Fani Kayode alleged that Gambari will help establish and enrich Buhari's alleged Islamization and Fulanization agenda. The former minister made the allegation in a post on his Facebook titled, "Enter the President's New Chief of Staff." Gambari, a former Under-Secretary of the United Nations, was unveiled as Abakari's replacement during the weekly Federal Executive Council (FEC) meeting on Wednesday. However, Fani Kayode wrote, "Enter Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Buhari's new chief of staff and Nigeria's former representative at the United Nations." Contrary to popular belief, and despite his second name, Agbola, this man is not a son of the Southwest or an Oduduwa, but a Fulani prince from the royal house of Ilorin. He is a descendant of Alimi. He is a Gambari, and to cap it all, his brother Emir Ibrahim Kolakpo Sulu Gambari is the present Emir of Ilorin. His forefathers stole our secret Oduduwa's land, took our throne, carved up and divided our empire, enslaved our people, and have persecuted our leaders in Ilorin for the last 200 years, denying them of their most basic liberties and rights. And worst of all, they have done this with the full blessing and support of the Sokoto Caliphate and the Sultan of Sokoto. With the appointment of Gambari as the president's new chief of staff, for the first time in our history, we have a Fulani president and a Fulani chief of staff, both serving a Fulani government with a Fulani agenda. This has never happened before, and very soon the result will be safe evidence. To make matter worse, Gambari is himself a hardliner, and he was President Muhammadu Buhari's former minister in 1984 when the latter was military head of state. He served a tyrant and a dictator before, and he is serving as a tyrant again and a dictator. And he served not just any tyrant and dictator, but Nigeria's greatest military tyrant and director and dictator. And now he is said to serve Nigeria's greatest civilian tyrant and dictator, which is President Muhammadu Buhari. Unlike his predecessors in office, the late Abakari, who was a Shuwa Arab, Gambari is a Fulani. His only interest throughout his distinguished career as a career diplomat was to do nothing but further and protect the interests and economic agenda of the caliphate in Nigeria, and to justify and rationalize its greed, brutality, barbarity, and excesses before the civilian world in various international fora. Now, he has come to help establish and enrich Buhari's Islamization and Fulanization agenda. We welcome him and we will engage him in battle. Abakari has gone. A hardline Islamic fundamentalist and Fulani irredentist has now taken over his job. Nigerians will see the difference. For those of us that have been in struggle to liberate our people from the tyranny of President Muhammadu Buhari for the last 5 years, it is game on and back to the trench. The ceasefire is over and the war against ethnic and religious bondage, and against injustice and subjugation, domination, nepotism, servitude, and slavery, as stated again and started once again. May the best man win this election. Thank you, viewers, for listening to this news. Wow. What did this country do to these people? Why are they tormenting Nigerians? Why are they doing all this to us? Why are they giving us pains? Why all this? Imagine what Fani Kayode has just said concerning Gambari and his plans with President Muhammadu Buhari for this country. Imagine that. Fani Kayode has exposed these people again. Why is Buhari making life miserable for this country? He brought this Gambari for a purpose. He brought Gambari to destroy, to finish the works he was unable to finish before Abakari died. According to what Fani Kayode said, we never knew that this man is also a Fulani, like President Muhammadu Buhari. That is why Buhari has elected him as a chief of staff. Because Buhari believes that if he elects someone else, which is not Fulani like him, then the seats will not be at peace. The person will definitely confront him anything he do or he does. That is why he has elected a Fulani like him to be the chief of staff. So with the appointment of Gambari as the president chief of staff, for the first time in our history, we have a Fulani president and a Fulani chief of staff. Both of them are serving a Fulani government with a Fulani agenda. That is it. To make matter even worse, Gambari himself is a hardliner. And he was Buhari's former foreign minister in 1984, when the latter was military head of state. He served a tyrant and a dictator before with Buhari. And he is serving a tyrant and a dictator again for Buhari. Imagine that. Wow. He also served not just any tyrant and dictator, but Nigeria's greatest military tyrant and dictator. And now he is set to serve Nigeria's greatest civilian tyrants and dictator. According to what Fani Kayode said, he said the agenda of Gambari is to Islamize and Fulanize the country. He said that Gambari has come to help President Muhammadu Buhari to establish and enrich Buhari's alleged Islamization and Fulanization agenda. But I know that with God beside, with God with us, they will never succeed. They have tried making this nation an Islamized country, Islamic country, sorry to say. They have always wanted this nation to be Islamized, but God has never for once allowed them to succeed. God can never allow such to happen to his children. He will never allow his children to go astray. That is why he has never succeeded in making this nation an Islamic nation. That is it. So, according to what Fani Kayode has said, he's exposing them. God is making him to expose them. Why God is exposing them is because he wants to free us from being Islamized and Fulanized agenda of theirs. He has once served President Muhammadu Buhari before. They have been doing evil together. That is why Buhari is appointing him again as the new chief of staff to continue from where they stopped when they were serving each other back then in 1984. So viewers, That is all I have to say concerning this news I just listened to. Your own comment is very much needed. Drop your comment below the